sheep of a feather flock together. Humans are much the same. They gather into flocks of people who live in the same place and share their language and culture. We call these human flocks nations. The citizens squabble among themselves, of course. They compete to decide who will be leader of the flock and separate into rival tribes, red, white, or blue. They even sometimes threaten to start their own flock with their own rules, until, that is, a pack of wolves appears to threaten their very existence. Then differences are set aside. A leader emerges, and suddenly the tribes of the nation forget their differences and remember they are all part of the same flock. They unite under their red, white, and blue flag and face the enemy. This is how it is with humans. We are defined not by our friends, but by our enemies. If you win a few battles, your self-belief grows. You don't see yourself as any old flock. You see yourself as the flock. You see a bit of wolf when you look in the mirror. Maybe you head off to confront other flocks and sample some of their grass. There's a modest group of islands off the coast of northern Europe. The flock there was divided by the name of their tribe, Iceni or Pict or Silures or Scot. Then along came a wolf pack that wanted their wealth, and a predictable thing happened. The tribes of the flock set aside their differences and rebelled against the common enemy. Thousands of years, and at least 10 bitter enemies later, one of those Brits was bold enough to declare, "The British are special. The world knows it. In our innermost thoughts, we know it. This is the greatest nation on earth." A true nationalist, but not one of Elizabeth I's world conquerors. It was spoken in the last 30 years. By whom? Nigel Farage? No. I'll tell you later. This bloke, there's a clue, is echoing Shakespeare's John of Gaunt, who famously boasted that Britain, and especially England, is a sceptred isle, an earth of majesty. Not only is it another Eden, demi-paradise, but the rest of the world live in less happier lands. Many Britons today believe that they are different, and when they say different, they really mean better. That raises two questions. First, are they right? And second, where did they get that idea from? A History of Britain in 10 Enemies will try to answer those questions, offering evidence so the reader can make up their own mind as to the place of Britain in today's world. But I hope you'll also find the journey entertaining. The actions of our ancestors were often surprisingly silly. The Celts who lived in Great Britain called themselves Britannia. Then, when the Romans tried to invade, they invented a goddess of the island, a warrior woman called Britannia. And so for centuries, Britain was guarded by a woman armed with a shield and an outsized toasting fork. She was probably meant to be seen as a benevolent goddess who was protective of her people. It could have been a way of encouraging the Britons to accept Roman rule. To this day, Britannia stands as a symbol of British defiance. We have the Royal Navy's nuclear ballistic missile system, which we named Trident. We also have the song Rule Britannia, written by James Thompson and set to music by Thomas Arne in 1740. It was originally part of a musical stage show about how Alfred the Great's navy helped defeat the Danes. The British Navy didn't actually command the seas when the song was written. You have to suspect that Thompson borrowed the sentiment from Shakespeare, who said, "This England never did, nor never shall, lie at the proud foot of a conqueror." It's fair to say the bard would not have passed GCSE history, because England had a track record of being conquered. Those words are sung lustily to this day, but they are odd